It's a detective movie.
It's a detective noir, thriller, semi-comic relief in there.
Yeah, whenever I think of a detective, I always think noir, trench coats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Revolvers, 1940s, timeless.
Mm-hmm.
So I, helped out with like the core ideas and the name of it, Scarlet's Chop House and like stuff like that. Then after that, I went and actually helped write the script with a writer. So just helped influence, what the characters were like and what they were saying, and that was a lot of fun.
So we basically went to the room after we came up with the ideas, and we sat down and we discussed, okay, what should they say here and how the scenes were gonna go. So, yeah.
Initially, I didn't want to act in this film, but when we came up with the villain Scarlet, I thought, I might want to get a minor role, so I auditioned, and it was a close tie, but I got the part, and so I'm happy. And I added a southern twang accent, so yeah.
Like when I read the character of, Tim Hammer in the script, I liked his personality. I liked his aloofness, and I just I play a lot of roles like that, and I just used my experience to channel myself into the role.
For the role of this film, I am Dean Baxter. He is one of these more serious detectives, solving crime with his partner, Tim Hammer. We're just beginning our career as detectives, private detectives. And so yeah.
Basically my scene is just the introductory, establishes the conflict and the purpose. So I tried to work really hard to make my shots very characteristic of the nature of the rest of the film, just to sort of establish the vibe. I actually had a lot of struggle deciding whether to have the conversation at the table or the bar, but the bar ended up fitting the very moody noir tone of the entire film.
They just got a tip that a guy in that apartment might know something about the missing cookbook. So Tim and Dean are going to investigate. They have a bit of an argument because Tim's not taking it very seriously. Kind of reminded me of the scene from Pulp Fiction when they're getting out their guns and they're about to go in and confront those guys and get the briefcase. It reminded me of that.
We both got inspiration from Pulp Fiction, when it was a long take, just letting the scene play out, the actors do their thing, so that, it makes the scene more raw that way.
I loved all of the different shots that we had, because we even had other shots planned that we wanted to do, and then kind of when we saw the handheld cam, we were like, oh no, do more handheld cam. That's really good. And just even the ones where it's not handheld and our first establishing shot, it's just, I just love the way everything looks the whole time and just kind of how tense it felt even directing.
Yeah, the establishing shot is amazing. You have a streak of light going in. It's so surreal and almost creepy. You don't know what's going to be around the corner when it pans. There's nothing, but and also the blood shot where we just zoom in on the blood and Brandon has to do a little swap of ketchup on his hand.
So we directed the climax of the film, the short film. It's about where they come back to return the book that she had lost, and the plot twist happens that you'll see, and I always love doing the climax or the intense scenes. I want to, it's my gig.
So we were both kind of, really into it, and we were really pumped with the shots that we had come together with before we started filming. And then we both kind of realized, okay, I guess we do have to kind of edit some of these shots. And I think we both kind of came to that realization at the same time, and we just worked through it and figured out a way to get around it and still get the right ending for the movie. I was pretty nervous. It was really daunting, but at the same time it was super mesmerizing, because it was the first time I've ever been on a set where everything, you have professional sound equipment and lighting and all that. So it was really this is what it's like, this is the real deal basically.
I just filmed the last scene of the movie, and I chose that scene because I feel like the last scene of a movie is the best scene because it's what leaves the effect on the audience. So when you're watching a movie and it has that great ending, you're like, wow, that was a really good movie. So I wanted to be part of leaving that effect on the audience. It was a shock at first, but then I liked it because it's like you get to see your vision and your idea really coming to life, and I thought that was cool. And you can basically do it piece by piece, you know, where the lighting are gonna be, what's the camera, telling the actresses how you want it to be said. So you're really building that image, that virtual reality in your head.
Directing it was really challenging because I was on a time crunch. I had like 30 minutes. They were like, you need to get in this and get this done, because I was the last one to go. That was good because it gave me a lot of time to think about my shot. So I came up with a good idea of having Dean's face kind of half shrouded in shadows, half in light, to kind of show the emotional and physical contrast at the point that I was directing, which is the scene where they open the book. I just like being hands-on with cameras and just filmmaking equipment, because, you know, I've always loved filmmaking and films in general. So it was really exciting to get to touch like top of the line, kind of more Hollywood-like stuff instead of just, you know, HD camcorders that I've been using.
I'm an editor, but usually I want to get more camera experience. So if I have to shoot for my own like films or productions, that I can know how to get the good camera shots to work with in editing. Yeah, I'm learning different angles, like I guess like the lighting that goes with it, what kind of lighting works best, and like movements and like different like setups and equipment for it.
I wanted to do camera, so I just kind of moved towards Dave and Evan, and we just kind of started working together on the first scene, and then everything we just kept doing stuff. I have a DSLR, so it's a Canon, but the Red is definitely a step up from that, and it's really nice to be able to see like what the professionals might use.
Throughout the week, I've been working on sound, which was mainly today. Hadn't done that before. I did it last year. And then I've been working on lighting a little bit, kind of flickering the lights, you know, set the scene. And then art department, which is the big one. And then the coolest scene I would have to say is probably anything from like the apartment scene, because I feel like we did a really good job on art department.
We just helped out the set a little bit, this is unreal. I'm actually in a set right now. It's insane. Their studio or stage or whatever you call it is insane.
I've been in art department, and I'm liking art department. I love setting up the scenes and specializing the props and stuff. I absolutely love that. I watched Evil Dead 2, and I was like obsessed with it for like a month. So I decided to make the Necronomicon, and I just took some oven-baked clay and put it on a book and sculpted that face and painted it.
It's very exciting being on an actual like professional film, you know, and I get to actually work with cameras and lights and stuff like that. It's amazing. It's like a dream come true.